Back in August of this year, I was able to tour the Santa Fe Cleburne Shops, along with others with the Cleburne Railroad Museum. Since that time, I've had somebody mention to me that they wanted to model the Cleburne Shops. This is not the first time I've heard this. Dan Roberts actually approached me about making a model of the Cleburne Shops for himself. The first thing I did was go into Google Earth and measure how large the shop complex was. If we just look at the historical part of the complex, or the part that we toured, you can see here that in HO scale, it would be roughly 18 feet by 18 feet. I then proposed making a backdrop that would make it appear as though the shops continues off into the distance beyond the part that we modeled. There would also be a hole or a tunnel and a track that will loop around the shop complex to allow for continuous operation. If you decided to go this route, you're talking about a layout that's 18 by 18 feet or 324 square feet. Many of us wouldn't have enough room to build a layout that big. Here, we see the main shop buildings compared to the layout at the Cleburne Railroad Museum. As we explained to visitors, we don't have nearly enough room to model the actual shop complex. So what we have in our layout is just a representation of the shops in the city of Cleburne. Had I built the layout for Dan Roberts, it would have taken up the entire seating area you see here at Dillon Depot, leaving very little room for tables and chairs. Then there's the actual construction of the complex. The Walters 130-foot turntable would be a pretty close match to what I measure as a 125-foot turntable in the Cleburne Shops. We'd also have to wire up all the leads around the turntable itself. The main buildings that made up the complex would either have to be scratch built or a combination of scratch and kit batching, since the building's mission style architecture was unique to the Cleburne Shops. I made a wisecrack to Dan that neither of us would live long enough to finish the layout. And sadly enough, Dan Roberts passed away in November of 2024. Fortunately, I am still alive. So to summarize, the reason why a layout of the Santa Fe Cleburne Shops has not yet been built, even though at least 4 or 5 groups or individuals wanted to, is first of all its sheer size. It's larger than most people have room for. The second reason is the sheer amount of scratch building that will be required to build the complex. You can also see in the videos we took inside of it the immense amount of detail inside the complex you would have to model.